Welcome to Private Stories, where people discover who they really are. My name is Ethan Blake and I am 35 years old. Until recently, I would have described my life as something solid. Not thrilling, not dramatic, just dependable in the way you hope adulthood will eventually become. I had a stable job as a project engineer for a construction firm in Denver, a savings account that did not terrify me, and a fiancée I believed was the best thing that had ever happened to me. Her name was Scarlett Monroe. We had been together for 4 years, engaged for 8 months, saving for a wedding that felt closer every time we reviewed our shared budget late at night at the kitchen table. 6 weeks ago, we moved into a duplex on Cedar Ridge Lane in a quiet suburb outside Boulder. 2 mirrored units sharing one long wall, each with a narrow balcony overlooking the same strip of backyard. 2 bedrooms, a small garage, tidy lawns, the kind of neighborhood where people wave even if they do not know your name. On paper, it looked like the beginning of forever. We argued about curtain colors, debated whether we wanted kids immediately or someday, talked about adopting a dog once we settled in. I used to stand in the kitchen in the early mornings, coffee brewing, sunlight cutting through the blinds, and think this is what security feels like. Then the man next door moved in. It was a chilly Saturday morning in late October. The air had that thin, sharp bite that comes before winter commits. I was frying eggs when Scarlett suddenly went still at the sink. "Oh wow," she whispered. Someone finally rented the other unit. Unit B had been empty since we signed our lease. The landlord had mentioned he was being selective, which I assumed meant he wanted someone quiet and financially responsible. I joined her at the window. A moving truck was backed into the driveway. A man jumped down from the cargo area with effortless grace. Tall, broad shoulders, dark hair brushing the collar of a charcoal sweater. Even from a distance, he had the kind of presence that makes people look twice without understanding why. He lifted heavy boxes like they weighed nothing. At one point, he laughed at something the driver said, head tilted back, completely relaxed despite the cold. Scarlett watched him a second longer than necessary. "Guess we have a neighbor," I said lightly. She did not respond immediately. "I should go say hi," she said. "Be welcoming." "Sure," I replied, sliding the eggs onto a plate. By the time I turned around, she was already pulling on her coat. From the window, I watched her cross the yard. Not hesitantly, not casually, almost eagerly. She waved. The man turned. Something passed across his face. Recognition. Clear enough that even from inside I could see it. They started talking. 1 minute passed. Then 5. Scarlett pushed her hair behind her ear in a way I had seen 1,000 times on dates. He laughed. She laughed back. Softer. Brighter than usual. When she came inside, her cheeks were flushed, though she had barely been outside. "His name is Kyle," she said quickly. "Kyle Rivers. Seems really nice." "Nice," I echoed. "He just moved here from San Diego," she added. "Does not know anyone." I told him we would help if he needs anything. A small tight sensation pulled in my chest. Not pain. More like instinct tapping on glass. I ignored it. Scarlett had always been friendly. Warm. Approachable. That was part of why I loved her. Or at least why I thought I did. Over the next week, Kyle became impossible not to notice. He was outside whenever Scarlett arrived home from work, leaning against his car, adjusting something in the garage, watering plants that did not seem to need watering. Their conversations stretched longer each day. 10 minutes, 15, sometimes close to half an hour. Scarlett would come back inside lighter somehow. More animated, more alive. I told myself I was being ridiculous. New neighbor, friendly conversation, nothing more. Then the balcony conversations started. Our bedroom opened onto a narrow balcony. Kyle's balcony faced ours across roughly 15 feet of grass. One Thursday night, I was downstairs watching a game when I heard laughter drifting from upstairs. Not normal laughter. Higher. Playful. Almost flirtatious. I muted the TV and followed the sound. The bedroom was empty. The balcony door stood open. Cold air spilled inside, carrying voices. Outside, Scarlett leaned against the railing, posture relaxed in a way I usually only saw when she was completely comfortable. Across from her, Kyle mirrored the stance, a blanket draped loosely over his shoulders. The distance between them felt strangely intimate. "You seriously thought you could land that jump?" he was saying. "You nearly broke your ankle." "Hey," she protested, laughing. "I stuck the landing. Barely." Still impressive, though, he said softly. They were not talking like strangers, not even like new friends. They spoke like people who shared memories, specific details, private jokes, history. I stepped forward. "Hey." Scarlett startled slightly. "Oh, hey." Kyle smiled easily. "Ethan, right?" "Yeah." "We were just remembering something stupid from college," Scarlett said quickly. My stomach tightened. "How do you two know each other?" Silence fell hard. Scarlett glanced at Kyle. Kyle looked back at her. "We went to school together," she said. "Same program," he added. "Had some classes." "You never mentioned him," I said. "I did not recognize him at first," she replied too fast. "He used to go by Rivers." Kyle chuckled softly. "Yeah, long story." "Small world," I said. "Real small," she echoed. I went back inside before my face could betray anything. Behind me, I heard Kyle say quietly, "Text me later." That night I did not sleep. Scarlett fell asleep quickly, turned away from me, breathing steady. Her phone lay on the nightstand, glowing faintly. I stared at it for a long time. When she got up to shower, the decision made itself. Water running, fan humming. I picked up the phone. Locked. But I had watched her unlock it countless times. 6 digits. Her birthday. The screen opened. Messages. Instagram. Facebook. Kyle Rivers pinned near the top. The conversation started 3 weeks earlier. "Kyle, please tell me this is actually Scarlett Monroe from Westview." "Scarlett, oh my God, it is really you." "Kyle, did not think I would ever hear from you again." "Scarlett, apparently we ended up in the same city. Universe has jokes." "Kyle, we should catch up." "Coffee." "Scarlett, yes. I still owe you for that night at the lake." My chest tightened painfully. Scrolling. "Kyle, you are engaged now. Look at you, all grown up." Scarlett, life got serious. "Ethan is wonderful." "Kyle, better than me, I hope." "Scarlett, you know we were chaos." "Kyle, fun chaos though. Not just classmates. Not just friends." My pulse roared. Further down. "Scarlett, Ethan is working late tomorrow. Want to meet?" "Kyle, I am free." 3 p.m. Lakeside Cafe. The same place she told me she was meeting a client. The shower stopped. I locked the phone and placed it back exactly where it had been. Slid under the covers. Closed my eyes. When she returned, she smelled like vanilla soap and steam. "You awake?" she whispered. I pretended to sleep. In the darkness, something inside me quietly broke. And something else began to form in its place. I did not confront Scarlett that night, or the morning after. I needed distance between the truth and whatever reaction might destroy everything too quickly. My mind works like a blueprint. Measure twice. Cut once. If I was going to tear apart my own life, I needed to understand exactly where the structure had already failed. The balcony conversations did not stop. If anything, they became routine. Every evening around 7. Her voice drifting through the hallway. His voice answering from across the yard. Sometimes laughter. Sometimes low murmurs that sounded too intimate to belong to casual neighbors. Sometimes long stretches of silence that somehow felt even more revealing. I started tracking the time without consciously deciding to. Monday, 26 minutes. Tuesday, 21. Wednesday, 34. Thursday, I stopped looking at the clock because hearing her laugh like that felt like something sharp sliding between my ribs. But I kept writing it down anyway. Patterns matter, even when they hurt. Friday night, I finally spoke. Scarlett was in the kitchen heating soup, standing barefoot on the hardwood floor. hair pulled into a loose knot that exposed the graceful line of her neck. "Scarlett," I said quietly. She did not turn immediately. "Yeah. We need to talk." Her hand paused on the spoon. "About what, Kyle?" She set the spoon down slowly. "What about him? You dated him." The silence that followed felt heavy enough to bend the air. "Who told you?" she asked, but her voice already carried defeat. "Does it matter?" She closed her eyes briefly. "It was years ago. College. Before you. It did not seem relevant. You talk to him every day. He is our neighbor." "I am being polite." "You lied about meeting him." Her head snapped up. "You went through my phone." "Were you lying to me?" I asked quietly. She exhaled sharply. "It was just coffee. Just catching up. Right? Because people always reminisce about staying warm together in hotel rooms after snowstorms with people who meant nothing to them." Her eyes widened. "You were listening." I did not answer. She rubbed her temples. "Ethan, you are blowing this out of proportion." "When is the last time we talked for half an hour without checking our phones?" I asked. She did not answer. "Exactly." I grabbed my keys. "Where are you going?" Ethan. I need space." I left before she could say anything else. I drove without destination until muscle memory guided me toward the small office park where my friend Daniel kept his property management business. The lights were still on. He looked up as I walked in, concern replacing surprise almost instantly. "Ethan, you look like you have not slept in a week." "I probably have not. I need a favor." "What kind of favor?" I told him everything. The move, the neighbor, the messages, the lies, the balcony. He listened without interrupting, jaw tightening more with each detail. When I finished, he leaned back slowly. "What do you want from me?" "The duplex," I said. "Options." He frowned. "Explain." "If one of us wants off the lease, the other can take it over. Kyle is month to month." Daniel's eyebrows rose. "You want me to buy the building?" "If possible." "That is extreme." "So is discovering your fiancée is reconnecting with someone she used to love while living 10 feet away from him." He studied me for a long moment. "This is not about him," he said finally. "I know. So what is it about?" "Control," I said. "Right now everything feels like it is happening around me and I cannot stop it. I just want something in this situation that is not a lie." Daniel exhaled slowly. "I will see what I can do." "Thank you. You sure you want to go down this road?" "No," I admitted. "But staying where I am hurts more." 3 days later, Daniel called early Monday morning. "It is done." I sat upright in bed. "What is done?" "I own the duplex. Both units. Cash deal. Seller wanted out." Timing was strange, but it worked. A strange calm washed through me. Not relief. Not satisfaction. Just inevitability. "Now the second part," one said. "You still want separate leases?" "Yes." "Are you absolutely sure?" "Yes." He hesitated. "This is going to hurt people." "I know." Thursday afternoon, the documents arrived in my inbox. Unit A with my name alone. Unit B with Scarlett's. Separate homes. Separate lives. I printed them carefully. Placed hers into a plain envelope. Packed several suitcases with her clothes while she was at work. Not everything. Just enough to make the point impossible to ignore. When I finished, the closet looked wrong. Half empty. Like a photograph where someone has been erased but the space still remembers them. Saturday morning, I left the envelope on the kitchen counter and went for a long drive just to avoid watching her find it. When I returned, she was sitting on the couch holding the papers with trembling hands. Her face was pale. Eyes red. "Ethan, what is this?" "My new lease." "And yours?" Her voice broke. "You are moving out." "No, you are." She stared at me like she did not understand the language. "You cannot just relocate me." "Can." "And I did." "You bought the building." "Daniel did." "But the leases are real." "This is insane." "No," I said quietly. "Meeting your ex behind my back while planning a wedding with me is insane." Tears spilled down her cheeks. I am sorry. It meant nothing. Then why risk everything? She swallowed hard. Because it felt familiar. Safe. Like before life got complicated. For the first time I felt something other than anger. A hollow clarity. You have until Monday, I said. Your things are in the spare room. You packed my clothes, she whispered. Saving time. Ethan, please, we can fix this. We cannot fix something you are still pretending is not broken. She stepped toward me. Please. I stepped back. You are moving to Unit B. Your lease starts Monday. Her voice shrank. And Kyle? He is leaving in 30 days. Where will he go? I do not know. I do not care. I opened the front door. Cold air flooded the hallway. You have the weekend, I said. Figure it out. The move happened slowly, painfully. Scarlett packed in bursts, then stopped. Sat on the edge of the bed staring at nothing. Boxes accumulated in the hallway. Soft thuds. Drawers sliding open and closed. Muted footsteps moving pieces of our shared life into another space that mirrored this one but no longer belonged to us. We barely spoke. When we did, it was practical. Where are the extra towels? Have you seen the tape? The last thing she carried out was a framed photograph from a beach trip 2 summers earlier. Her arm around me, both of us smiling in a way that now looked almost unreal. She held it for a long time before placing it gently into a box. When the door to Unit B finally closed, the sound echoed through the house like something final. That night, the silence felt enormous. No music from her phone. No footsteps. No quiet humming while she brushed her teeth. Only absence. Around 2 in the morning, I heard movement through the wall. A drawer sliding. Something falling softly. She was 15 feet away. Close enough that I could almost imagine her silhouette moving through the mirrored layout. Yet she felt impossibly distant. Days passed in a strange, suspended rhythm. She did not knock. Did not call. But she texted. Always late at night. Are you awake? Please talk to me. Cannot sleep. I kept my replies short. Not tonight. Please respect the space. Sometimes she sent long messages I did not open. Gray bubbles stacked beneath each other like unsaid confessions. Kyle received his notice and left 3 weeks later. I watched from my kitchen window as he loaded the last of his belongings into a dark SUV. Scarlett stood nearby, arms wrapped around herself. He said something to her that made her look down. She nodded. He touched her shoulder briefly, then drove away without looking back. The yard felt larger afterward, quieter, empty in a way that finally allowed me to breathe. 2 nights later, Scarlett texted again. I am moving out next month. I cannot afford this place alone. Okay. That is it, she replied. Just okay. What do you want me to say? That you still care. Did matter. Past tense. I learned something important. What? Who you are when you think I will never find out. Hours passed. Finally. I hate that I destroyed us. So do I. Do you hate me? No. Then why can we not fix it? Because wanting to fix something is not the same as becoming someone who will not break it again. She did not reply. When moving day came, she did not knock. No goodbye. Just the sound of furniture moving. Boxes. Footsteps. A car engine starting. Then silence. I walked slowly through Unit A. The walls we painted together. The couch we argued about in the showroom. The small dent in the baseboard from when I dropped a toolbox. Memories. But no anchors. On the balcony, I leaned against the cold metal railing and looked across the empty space. No Kyle. No Scarlett. No laughter drifting through the evening air. Just quiet. Just stillness. Just me. For the first time since this began, the silence did not feel lonely. Felt clean. Like the air after a storm. I did not know what came next. Stay. Sell. Start somewhere completely new. But I knew one thing with absolute certainty. I would never again ignore the warning signs my instincts tried to show me. Some betrayals are loud. Others whisper through walls and across balconies until suddenly they are all you can hear. I stepped back inside, closed the door gently, and let the quiet settle around me like a reset. I was not afraid of beginning again. I was relieved, because in the end I had not lost something real. Thank you for watching this video to the end. Visit our channel for interesting and intriguing stories.